Hi everybody, it's Friday and we're off to the races with our shout-outs, our continuing story of the Frank and Abby mystery, The Answers Man, and of course our Groaner of the Week. So without further ado, let's get right to it. Our shout-outs this week, the first one is Steve Brahms. And Steve and his family run what I call a market garden. I'm not sure what they call it, but they grow vegetables for sale at market and have their own vegetable and fruit stand. And they have two operations. One's a very large greenhouse, and I mean large. You could hold a dance in it. And they grow tomatoes and cucumbers and peppers and a few other things using hydroponics. And then they also have a traditional out in the field type farm as well. So check out Steve Brahms. If you have a green thumb, he can probably help you to get it to sprout. And if you don't have a green thumb, he can probably help you start getting it to head in that direction. Very knowledgeable in his field and willing to share and help you along with hints and different things to do with growing vegetables and fruit. And the reason I say fruit is because I grow tomatoes. I don't think they have apple orchards or anything like that, but I do know they have tomatoes, and tomatoes are fruit. All right, our second channel is Marina's Toy Box. Two young girls and their mother, Rebecca. So it's Marina. Marina is the older of the two daughters, and Harbor is the younger of the two, and their mother's name is Rebecca. And they do toy reviews. So check them out. You might be looking for a gift for a young person in your life, and some of the things they've reviewed might just be good and might just make you go, the perfect gift. So check out Marina's Toy Box. The third one is a lovely lady from Florida, and it's Part-Time Detector. Now her main emphasis is on metal detecting, but she does do other things as well. And the last video she put up was about a possum. So yeah, go by and check out Part-Time Detector. All right. And of course, links to all those will be in the description box for this video. So if you want to get there the fastest way, you can do that. If not, you go over to the regular YouTube channel page and type their channel names in the search box and search for them. But probably quicker to click the links. All right, let's get on and see where Frank and Abby are. If you remember last week, Frank and Pastor Dennis had managed to escape from their captor. Sorry, I'm getting tangled up here in something. There we go. And had met up with Abby and the county sheriff out on the road, and had returned to Gurneyville to the sheriff's department. So we'll pick the story up at that point with chapter 10. Abby, Pastor Dennis, and I spent several hours at the sheriff's office in Gurneyville giving our statements, waiting for them to be typed up and signing them. Armed with our statements and the circumstantial evidence we'd gathered, the sheriff was able to obtain a warrant for Debbie Derringer's arrest. The charges against her were 2 counts of felony kidnapping and 2 counts of aggravated assault. Armed with the warrant, the sheriff and several deputies returned to the goat farm, but of course Debbie had fled. An all-points bulletin was issued for her with a description of her pickup truck, which was missing from the farm. The sheriff also contacted the Lauder City Police, and after filling in the chief, who happened to be an old friend, was assured that the blue van was still in the compound yard and he would have CSI give it a thorough going over. Pastor Dennis and I were fingerprinted to help eliminate our prints from any found at the farm. By any chance did you find my car? I asked the sheriff when he returned. That old car wasn't much, but it was reliable, and more importantly, it was paid for. I wasn't even sure if, given the circumstances, my insurance company would cover the loss. No, other than farm equipment and a few old derelict trucks, there were no other vehicles there. The crime scene boys are out there now collecting evidence, and the animal control officers are out there as well. Perhaps they'll locate it. Meanwhile, we'll file a stolen vehicle report and put out an all-points bulletin on it. That fellow you mentioned, nicknamed Fate, he's out front waiting for all of you. I have your contact information if I need to get hold of you for any further information. I'm cautioning all of you, though, to watch your backs. The Lord only knows what Debbie and her partner are capable of. We thanked the sheriff for his help and agreed we would be extra cautious until Debbie and her partner were rounded up. We walked out of the reception area, and sure enough, fate was there to greet us. I knew you were the right guy for the job the day I walked into your office in Ryeville. Our church is forever in your debt, Fate said as he shook my hand vigorously. He then turned to Pastor Dennis. Pastor, it sure is good to see you. We all really missed you. Fate, I've only been missing a week or so, and I only missed one Sunday, but it's nice to know how much you all care, Pastor Dennis said as he shook Fate's hand. The thing is, I would have been on my holiday by now if I hadn't been kidnapped, and after this ordeal, I would really like to have the break. My nerves are shot. Don't you worry about that, Pastor, Fate chuckled. We won't count this as part of your vacation time. Pastor Dennis, do you have a place to stay other than your home? I asked. With Debbie and her partner still at large, it might be safer to stay somewhere else for a while. Not to worry, Fate interrupted. Pastor is more than welcome to stay with Sally and I. We have an in-law suite in the basement, so you can still have your own privacy. Although, I guess you could stay with your mom. Fate, I'll take you up on that offer. I love my mom dearly, but if I stay with her, I might be placing her in danger, Pastor Dennis replied. All right then, we can all ride back to Lauder City together. My car is out front. Thanks for the offer, Abby said, but Prue lent me her car to drive out here, and I need to take it back. Frank and I will do that, and then you two can head straight home. Pastor, after your ordeal, you might want to see a doctor and just make sure you're okay. I'll do that, Abby, although truthfully I think I'm just a bit hungry and need a restful night's sleep. By this time we had reached the parking lot, and so we said our goodbyes and headed to Lauder City. And that's the end of chapter 10. It was a very short chapter, wasn't it? Hope you didn't miss it. If you happened to blink or nip to the fridge for a drink, you might have passed you right by. Alrighty, but that's the nice thing about YouTube. You can go back and play it over again, right? Okay. So, you ready for the groaner? Everything's kind of short this week, other than the shout-outs. So, here's your groaner for the week. A very faithful employee who had never taken a day off sick, because he had never been sick, and had always been on time, usually there 5 to 10 minutes early every day, showed up at work an hour late. His boss met him at the desk and said, "Why are you late?" And as he's asking the question, he's looking his employee upside down and notices his employee has a bandage wrapped around his head, has his arm in a cast and a sling, and is using one crutch to hop along on one leg, and his other leg is in a cast. He's also got several bruises and scrapes and scratches. And the boss says, "So what's your excuse? Why are you late?" "Well, sir," says, I fell out a 10-story window, bounced off a balcony, and then luckily landed on an awning and rolled off onto the ground. So, I should have been killed. I should be dead, but I was very fortunate that my fall was broken. And even though I've got a broken arm and a broken leg and a bit of a concussion, he says, I'm alive and I'm here ready for work. And the boss says, "What do you mean you fell out of a 10-story window?" "Well, exactly what I said, sir. I was at home. I live on my apartment's on the 10th floor, and I was trying to clean the outside of the window this morning. I had my breakfast and I had plenty of time, and I thought, well, that window's pretty dirty. If I just sit on the edge of the window and lean out, I can give it a good wash." So I said, "That's what I was doing, but I leaned out too far, lost my balance, and I fell out the window." And he said, "I fell 10 stories. And so, sir, that's why I'm late." And the boss says, "I don't believe your story for 1 minute. It wouldn't take anybody an hour to fall 10 stories. Alrighty, there's your groaner for this week. Hope you don't hate me for that one. Alrighty, until Tuesday when we have our cooking video or baking video, whatever we happen to do. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Take care, stay safe, and God bless.